In our last two sessions, we discussed a letter from a woman who was baffled at the angry response of her boyfriend, Carl, when she merely suggested that he might take a particular exit on the interstate as they drove in an unfamiliar part of the state. I began a discussion about the importance of power in the lives of most men as they're looking for substitutes for the missing real love in their lives. Now, back to the writer of the letter. So, what does power have to do with your making a suggestion about taking an exit on the interstate? As important as it is for men like Carl to acquire power to fill their emptiness in the absence of sufficient real love, there is something even more important than acquiring power. And until women understand this, they will be baffled by men all their lives. Back to the sunburn analogy that we talked about in our last session. Without enough real love in his life, Carl is sunburned all the time. He's in pain. There is nothing in life more motivating in the short term than pain. Now, we'll do a lot to get money, power, sex, entertainment, many things, but we'll do almost anything to avoid pain. Pain reigns supreme. So, even though Carl is highly motivated to earn power and praise and pleasure and the rest, the one thing he wants to do more than anything else is avoid any activity that might add to the pain in his life. Pain that he already finds intolerable. So, now we're back in the car with you two on the interstate. You're on unfamiliar territory. He's not sure where he is or where he's supposed to turn. Now, how do I know that? Because if he knew, you wouldn't have opened your mouth about what exit to take. Now, not knowing where you are may not seem like a big deal to you, but when power is a big thing in your life, not knowing where you are is simply not an option. When you don't know where you are and you don't know where you're going, that puts you in the position of looking stupid and being helpless. You might actually have to stop, pull the car over, and I can hardly say these words for fear of being thrown out of the man league. Ask for directions. Now, do you have any idea, any remote clue how humiliating that could be? For a big, powerful, all-knowing man to ask for directions is like saying, I believe I have soiled my pants. Would someone mind helping me change my diapers? In the manly world of power and competition, where we were all trained in gladiatorial combat, by the way, not knowing where you're going is simply not acceptable. Nonetheless, that was the case for poor Carl. So he was feeling lost and stupid and helpless. No real love in his life, and now the imitation love in his life is all gone too. He is certain, here he is driving around lost and crazy and helpless and stupid, and he's certain that at any moment a full squadron of Harley-Davidson motorcycles is going to pull him over on the highway and ask him, Carl, do you know where you are on the map right now? And do you know exactly which exit you'll be taking next? And Carl knows that if he can't answer those two questions, they're going to ask him for his membership card in the Man League. And then, right in front of him, they're going to tear his card into little pieces, and he'll never be able to drink beer with the boys again. You think I'm kidding. It's that big a deal. So now, for the first time, you understand what it's like for Carl not to know where he's going in the car. Now you're ready to understand the next step in your interaction. And we'll talk about that in our next session.